want me to do like intro, right? Okay.
Don't look at the mirror. I mean the camera.
Right.
As good as I'm going to be.
Hi, this is Gretchen Fritz for On Target Radio. I'm here at the IGOLD, Illinois Gun Owner Lobby Day here in Springfield, Illinois. And our first guest today is Rob Stanley. Now, Rob has recently started a grassroots chapter of the ISRA in his area, and he's here to tell us about it. How are you today, Rob?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Do that all again. Hi, this is Gretchen Fritz for On Target Radio. Okay. It's my first. Doesn't matter. Hi, I'm Gretchen Fritz for On Target Radio. We're here at the Illinois Gun Owner Lobby Day in Springfield, Illinois. Rob Stanley is here with me today, and he has recently, very recently, started a grassroots chapter of the Illinois State Rifle Association in his area, and he's here to tell us all about it. So this is a very exciting day today, isn't it, Rob?
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Exciting day today.
Yes, it is, very much so. Lots of people here.
There do seem to be a good crowd here. It's very noisy, as you can tell. So tell us about the chapter of the Illinois State Rifle Association meeting that you just started.
Well, about 2 months ago, I was approached by Doug Mayhall and Richard Pearson with the Illinois State Rifle Association about starting a chapter down in Southern Illinois, and because we didn't have quite the representation down there, so they were trying to get a chapter started similar to the ones that are in the Chicagoland area, and at this time we're calling it the Southern Illinois chapter of the Illinois State Rifle Association, and we're meeting in Marion, Illinois.
Very good. So you said you didn't really advertise your first meeting, and you had how many people?
We had 24 people at our first meeting, just based on word of mouth, friends and family, and we're going out and starting this in the grassroots style, so that basically we left with the idea that each person would bring back 2 other people. So we're hoping to grow this thing pretty quickly.
That is so fantastic to hear. So 24 people at your first meeting, and so what is the format of your meetings going to be?
Well, we'll have guest speakers, hopefully at every meeting. If by chance we're not able to get a guest speaker, we will have an open forum where we can talk. Our first meeting had a representative from the Williamson County Commissioner came and spoke at the meeting, and from here we'll just have to see.
Excellent. So tell everybody when the meetings are going to be held. So you had your first one a couple of weeks ago, and you're going to do it monthly. Is that correct?
That is correct. Our meetings are going to be on the third Monday of each month, and they will be at a restaurant named Mackey's Pizza in Marion, Illinois. We'll meet there. The meetings will start at 7 and hopefully always end by 8 o'clock. But if you'd like to join us and have a bite to eat beforehand, we'll all try to be there about 6 o'clock.
That sounds very similar to what we do in Will County. So just one more thing. So how did Doug Mayhall and Richard Pearson find you? How did they know you?
Well, I have a good friend, Mike Neely. He's down in the Southern Illinois area as well, and he was on the board of directors at one point, and they mentioned that they were looking for someone in the area, and he asked me if he could recommend my name to them.
That is so great. One of the things I love about the Second Amendment community is the networking that we have, and how it really is just such a big family, and we're very accepting of pretty much everybody, and you see that represented here. Thank you so much for joining us, Rob. That's it for me. That's it. Thank you so much. That wasn't too bad,
No,
right?
it really wasn't. It really was not. Thank you. No, you made it easy. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, very nice to meet you.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. The On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Oh, that didn't go out? I thought that was going out. Sure. You want me to do it, or you want him to do it?
You want to come sit down and do it? Start getting them inside. Well, go get them.
I guess not. So we're streaming just to stream. mentioned it in the interview on purpose so people would understand why. That's good. That's good.
The thing is we're not.
Yeah, this is what's
We're not
picking us
actually
up.
recording. Well, what are we going to talk about? I mean,
I know, we're just going to effing chat.
it's cluster.
It's a cluster.
Cluster. She said a bad word. I just want to point out that I did not say a bad word. It's her.
Well, you said cluster, so somebody's got to say it.
Cluster, like pecan clusters.
It's a clusterfuck.
Thank you, Eric.
And that pithy word from our social guy. Yeah. If anyone knows how to handle social media, it's Eric.
It's Eric. So I just saw somebody from the Will County Grassroots group, Papish. I think his name's David Papish.
Okay.
Just had a little chat with him, so that was pleasant.
Rhonda Ezel was here a minute ago.
Yeah, I saw
Now she's
Rhonda.
disappeared.
I saw Rhonda. Mike Weissman's here. Marilyn Smolenski's here with us. She carpooled with us.
She did. Well, you weren't with us. You were in the ozone.
I was napping.
Yes.
I was napping. So you'll be amazed. I got up at 4:40 this morning.
To put on more blankets or get an extra pillow? I don't picture you up at that hour. Unless
Well,
you're coming home.
I did. And the cat was like, what the hell's going on?
So let's see. I don't know. They're beginning to thin the herd because they're going in the show.
I thought you were going to say the sheriff. The sheriff is rounding them up. Mike Weissman's rounding them up.
The program is about to begin, so they're all moving in. Yeah, Rhonda Ezel is gone. She disappeared.
Do you want me to go find her?
You could, I suppose.
What time is it? Hold on. The program is going to start in about 5 minutes, I think. But I could go see if I could borrow her for a minute.
She may not want to come out at this point since it's about to start. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But I might do. Do you want me to try?
You could try, see what happens. This is great. We are live streaming from the Convention Center in Springfield, Illinois. This is Illinois Gun Owners Day, IGOLD. I can't hear you. What?
I said Representative Skillicorn. I wanted to introduce you.
Ah, well, how about you have a seat?
Sure.
You don't mind being seen, do you?
That's fine. Well, seen or heard?
Not seen or David Lombardo.
Alan Skillicorn, pleasure.
Don?
Alan.
Alan Skill. So, what are you in the House? What are you in?
I serve, represent the House, so 66 districts, so Elgin up to Crystal Lake, so Kane and McHenry counties.
Okay, is this your first time coming in here?
Absolutely not. So this, I probably have 5 or 6 IGOLDs under my belt, maybe more than that. And even in my office, I have an old sign. Before we passed concealed carry, I was here, and I used to display the sign because, the gun grabbers kind of freak out when they see, we need concealed carry now. So, but I'd rather them freak out than take our guns away.
Any politician that talks in phraseology like gun grabbers is someone we want to interview. So, state of Illinois right now is really up for grabs. I mean, they have the House, they have the Senate, they have override.
Yeah.
Not that this governor will give them anything to override. I mean, it's basically locked up. It looks pretty bleak for anybody that's pro-Second Amendment, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. And what we have to really ask is what the struggle is really about. I mean, Chicago Democrats, all these gun grabbers, I mean, they want to tax our ammo, register our guns, ultimately take our guns. I mean, how Speaker Madigan works to sustain his loyal politicians, for his lobbyists and political parasites. I mean, it's all about power for these people. So they want to take it from us and give it to their patronage people.
What are the chances of some of the stuff just never really seeing the light of day? I mean, the Southern Democrats are still basically pro-Second Amendment, so there's some friction within their own party on this particular subject. So how do you see that playing out? I mean, is there any play in that?
Well, there's only a handful of Southern Illinois Democrats left. So in the past, there was a Southern Illinois caucus with 5, 6 Democrats, and they keep them going to the mat again. Hey, if you put these bills on the floor and start voting on them, we're going to lose. Now there's only 3 of them left.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so it's a much different world. And frankly, the suburban Democrats are much crazier, much more radical than the people previous, and they're probably willing to throw those 3 people under the bus. And that's unfortunate because this is, I mean, so once you get below I-80, it is a bipartisan issue to support guns. I mean, these are God-given rights, and they get it down there. But unfortunately, once you get close to the city, I mean, the people's brains go away.
What I find really kind of scary, the older Democrats, obviously we didn't always see eye to eye on things, but there was a somewhat more reasoned approach. These young Turks, it's like they're crazy. I mean, they're proposing really, truly bizarre things, aren't they?
Yeah, they are very radical. I mean, and if they don't get their way, they'd rather blow things up. And that's just, I mean, we have some of the most extreme radical bills, scary bills, that are, I mean, they're getting hearings. And, you know, this isn't just what you hear about in the news. This is happening right now, and it's with these new suburban people. And frankly, the people that voted for them, you know, these, I mean, in neighborhoods that I live in, basically, it's nuts, and they just voted against their own interests. They voted against, obviously, their gun rights, but they voted against good schools. They voted against the equity in their homes. You know, they voted against things that really matter to them. What? Because they're mad? Because they're pushing back about something that doesn't exist? It's silly. I mean, they really hurt themselves, and unfortunately, it's going to take a couple election cycles to maybe write things back. And if we don't, everyone's going to leave.
Well, and that's the other interesting thing. Particularly with Pritzker in now, it's tax everything. I mean, they're talking about taxing things nobody even thought of before. And what's literally happening is the greatest exodus. Illinois, I believe, is the only state in the union last year that had a decrease in population. And so people are leaving the state, and the solution that the Democrats have is to raise the taxes even more.
Yeah, it's nutty. So 100 people leave Illinois every single day. And giving, I mean, some more perspective of that. You know, the governor is doing, he wants to change the Constitution so he can have unlimited taxing. I mean, that's what, he's not saying it, but it would give them the opportunity for unlimited taxing in the future. I call it a jobs tax, because it's going to drive the jobs out of Illinois. But they want to tax plastic bags, you know, when you go shopping. They want to do a rain tax, so that, you know, they can tax water that falls on your property. It's nutty stuff. And frankly, many of my gun friends have said, oh, if they ban my guns or whatever, they do an assault weapon ban, I'm leaving. I mean, nothing else here, I might as well leave. And then what's going to happen when these people leave? And these are good, consistent voters, so there's going to be less people that we can possibly win back the House and Senate with, and those are also taxpayers. And then it's also the social fabric. You know, retirees, who is the people that are going to volunteer for Lions Club and Rotary Club and Knights of Columbus? Usually those are people that are volunteers. So if those people say, oh, forget it, I'm going to leave, there goes our social services. And how expensive is that to replace? You know, it's untold how big of a problem this is, and we have to draw a line in the sand right now, stop them, and push back against this nutty stuff.
Well, I appreciate your insight, and thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Alan Skillicorn, you know, look me up at alanskillicorn.com. My Facebook is Skillicorn, or Taxpayers for Skillicorn. That's SKILLICORN. Thank you.
And for On Target Radio, I'm David Lombardo.
Great. Keep up good work.
Hi, Gretchen. Yeah, Gretchen.
You sit here. And where'd she go? There she is. Gretchen, you ready to go? Hey, how you doing?
Great job on the article.
You like it?
Yeah. Good.
I surprise people sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of
I'll say this. You're better than I am. I thought I could have said that better myself.
You like it?
I know you would. I know you would. I know you would. Hey, when did that shit? They need something for like, they need
Hey, Gretchen, you ready?
Whatever you want to do for the one.
The camera will get it.
I'll get you in the camera. Don't worry about it.
I guess I need to go. You are. Okay, so if I'll sit there, it'll be like me flipping back and forth.
So you're not recording at this moment, Howard?
Yep.
Oh, no.
That's what you say there, lady.
Hi, guys. You're going to have to edit out that head pat.
What's that?
That head pat.
Can we do
Marty just did.
Free what?
Yeah, here's a mic.
I got to Hey, okay, what time are you? You come sit right here. You're going to sit right there.
Yeah, you sit in the middle, Dave.
You go over one. I'm going to do both of you.
I'm going to make sure I put my mouth on this microphone in the middle of the house. See feedback and everything. Yeah, he recorded. Yeah, it's fine. It took a long time to find parking. It's good to see you.
What is his first name?
Dixon.
Dixon, right?
Yeah, but I go by Q. So my wife and mama and my sister call me Quincy.
That's what I always call you.
Q.
Spell your last name. A-M?
A-M-O-A-H.
Mo, right?
Yep.
Okay. Ramza. So, you know what I want to... Here's the thing. You need to get... these are going too, right?
You're using that and those.
Yeah. So you need to kind of stay close to that. But you can't talk until I put the mic in your face, right? I don't need that. Right there is fine. Oh, you're doing a white balance? That's fine. So this is a good opportunity to just talk about the black community. And we did an article. I did an article on you. I did an article on him. Maybe we should talk about how we get people more involved. I know you're doing that, and I know you're doing that. Does that sound reasonable? Okay, so kind of snuggle up a little bit here, because I've got to pass this puppy back and forth. What's the name of 6? What is it?
761st Gun Club. 761 ST.
Hard to believe I just wrote an article. 761
ST. Close to the first. Like a 761st.
Oh, yeah, right.
Gun Club of Illinois.
And you have an organization.
Chicago Guns Matter.
Chicago Guns Matter. Are you like president or something?
President and co-founder. Lee Plankton, Minnie Zell versus City of Chicago. You got to get my whole title in there, no?
And if I recollect, weren't the first gun laws to keep blacks from owning guns?
You're right.
That was, what was the name for that law? I can't remember.
It's called the Black Code, I believe.
I know for a fact it had to be in the...
That's really what it started out.
It was actually based off of Virginia.
1968.
Yeah.
Well, we talking about
From the
like
beginning?
Well, I'm talking about further back than that.
further back then.
Yeah.
We talking about
38.
38?
We talking about way back
But-
then. We were talking about when like slavery-
Post-Civil War.
Yeah, post-Civil
Right.
War.
This was
So
post-Civil War.
it was called the Black Code. So what happens is that's fine. What happened is after the slaves were quote unquote free, states took it upon themselves to control that who got access to firearms out of the
Is
fear.
that getting all three of us? No, but is that camera getting all three of us? Okay, all right.
Out of the fear of black people retaliating towards the former slave owners.
Yeah.
So that's what the reason.
Okay, so we'll I think we'll start with that. Okay, so whenever you're ready, are you good to go? Yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1. One. We have an interesting panel sitting here today. We're at IGOLD, and we've got Dixon QMO, I just always call you Q, as many do, who's president of the 761st Gun Club of Illinois, an all-black gun owners club in Chicago, which we're going to talk about that.
All-black gun club, but we're not an all-black gun club, but we do focus on the African-American community.
Okay. And then Rhonda Ezel, who's our president of Chicago Guns Matter. And Rhonda, you were responsible for a very interesting piece of Supreme Court work, weren't you?
Well, my federal wins weren't at the Supreme Court level, but yes, Ezel versus City of Chicago was very instrumental in actually extending gun rights outside of the home.
Sure. So we're going to talk about both of those. Just to put things in perspective, the earliest gun laws really go back to post-Civil War, and were they not specifically to keep guns out of the hands of blacks after the Civil War?
Yes. So after the slaves were quote unquote freed, there was some states that passed laws to keep those guns out of the black hands, out of the fear of retaliation of going after the former slave owner. So a lot of these gun control laws has been based off of fear of the black men having access to firearms. I mean, the latest one I would think of, it was probably after Dr. King was assassinated. So you saw that huge gun control act as enacted. I believe that's also when the FOID card was also was turned to a law as well. We saw that a lot of black people, especially in that time back in the city of Chicago, had to go through a lot of hoops and ladders to get access to firearms, which is kind of it was in a way discouraging them. I think at that time they were getting ready to get rid of the Saturday night specials as well, which was like one of the top firearms to get in the black community because it was affordable. And then they also brought up this unconstitutional FOID card as well, just to figure out who was what. I remember it at the time. I think that it was a conversation between the LBJ, the president, and also Richard Daley Sr. I think there was some recording out there talking about actually trying to look for ways to keep guns out of black hands.
I think one of the interesting things that I noted was when I was teaching in the South in Louisiana, everybody had a gun rack. Blacks, white, didn't matter who you were. Everybody had it. Every black family owned firearms. And when I came back to Chicago, I never really paid attention to it prior to that. When I came back to Chicago, there's a clear anti-gun bias in the black community, which I just don't even understand how that would be.
I also believe it's from society and with the laws, the anti-gun control laws, the anti-gun laws, and then you also have the media painted us in a certain way. The number one thing we always hear is a black man with a gun is he's going to end up in jail, he's going to be dead. So we was always ingrained with that growing up. So with that in mind, that's what we're trying to change. We're trying to challenge that notion, that stereotype with the 761st Gun Club. So we challenge that we have a lot of everybody in our gun club is law-abiding citizens. We got upstanding citizens, doctors, lawyers, engineers, everything, and they happen to like guns and they are pro self-defense. So we're trying to change that narrative, and we've been around for almost 3 years now, and we got to talk about taking out decades and decades of in-grind and mind tricks that the media and society has been putting on the black community.
So, Rhonda, you're a grandmother. You're not raising your granddaughter?
I'm not raising her, but we spend a lot of quality time together. She's my range buddy. We shoot together. So she's always in attendance when it comes to firearm safety training. Any event that I'm at, she's there with me. She's going to man the table. She's going to educate some of the people as well. So my granddaughter, she's with me all the time.
So you're looking at, you wanted to own a firearm for protection, right? You got embroiled in a thing with the city of Chicago, and it got big, didn't it?
It did. I had 3 attempted burglaries on my place. The third time I was home. So when you're living in a big city like Chicago that's ridden with violence, you want to protect yourself. So I found myself seeing the fact that the McDonald case, see, I got involved right after that victory, that Supreme Court victory, McDonald versus Chicago. I was complying with that ordinance. I called the ISRA and say, hey guys, what do we do to comply?
Sure.
You know, so we went over the red tape that I had to go through to comply just to get to that point, and we found out that my rights had been violated. And man, EZA versus the City of Chicago was born, and it took off, and it lasted almost a decade. It was big. It was big.
And the interesting thing about that is you won at the Supreme Court level.
My case did not. I won at the Seventh Circuit Court level. The McDonald versus Chicago case was the case that went to the United States Supreme Court.
So we got to the point where the city of Chicago was told that they have to allow gun ranges, gun stores in the city. And then what did the city of Chicago do in response to that? Did they open up a bunch of gun stores?
Absolutely not. What they did was they came back with more shenanigans, put more restrictions in place, which meant we had to go back to court and fight and knock down those restrictions as well. And we did that. We gave them 2 black eyes, you know. So at the end of the day, when you take a look at the fact that the state of Illinois was the last state to get concealed carry, and that the city of Chicago was not able to own a gun for nearly 3 decades until the McDonald case was won, you know, we had to fight back a long time. We fought long and we fought hard, and we won. So restoring gun rights back to the state of Illinois for all law-abiding citizens, it makes us feel good here at Chicago Guns Matter.
So I guess the final question, I just get an answer from each of you. My understanding is the fastest growing segment in the firearms community right now are inner city black women. It's become a very major issue to them for safety, literally for safety. Is that what your perspective is?
My perspective, yes. Let me say yes to that. But as well, I want all gun owners in the black and urban communities to step up, be proactive in protecting themselves and their families, because we are responsible for our own safeties here. We cannot rely on the government. It's not state and local government job to protect an individual. So the hard work that we put forth with restoring the gun rights, we want to make sure that everybody understands these rights apply to you just as well as any other law-abiding American in this country.
And Q, you started the 761st Gun Club of Illinois. What are you doing to get the word out to more members of your community?
So what we are doing is we put a lot of content out on social media. We had the articles, radio interviews like we're doing right now. Also, we're going out to reach out to the community. We're going to churches, talking about the Second Amendment, trying to put security plans for these churches as well. We also, I have tasked my members in my gun club to be a good ambassador for the community when it comes down to the Second Amendment. So where they wear our logo on their chest, on their head, people will see that and want to know more questions about what this gun club has done for them. And usually that's how we attract those new members.
Well, Dixon Amoa and Ron Dizella, I thank both of you for being with us today. You're really kind of in that part of that segment of our industry that I think is probably one of the most important things. And I wish you both a lot of luck. You know, the ISRA is always happy to help any way we can. So, again, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, David. Thank you for having me.
And for On Target Radio, I'm David Lombardo.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the rights and freedoms of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the ISRA has supported the use of firearms as a sport for personal protection and as a fundamental aspect of national defense. For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has been supporting you. Don't you think it's time you supported them? ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association, supporting you.
Looking for a better shooting experience? Imagine shooting virtually all your firearms the same day. You can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, or compete in a 3-gun match. You can exercise that rifle out to 600 yards, even engage in a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. Do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Whether you're a novice looking for a basic course or an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, even if you want to participate in your favorite shooting event, such as IDPA or cowboy action shooting. Spend an enjoyable day with the family at the Aurora Sportsman's Club, the only shooting facility in the region that offers all of that and more. If that sounds interesting, don't miss the next orientation and a tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois. Call the membership department at 815-264-9000 extension 44 for information. That's 815-264-9000 extension 44 to join a one-of-a-kind shooting facility. The Aurora Sportsman's Club.
So you'll know when it's your turn to talk. He's got to get us all set up. Gretchen Fritz. We're here at the Illinois Gun Owner Lobby Day in Springfield 2019, and I'm here with James Martyr. So James, tell everybody in Illinois why they should know who you are.
Well, you know, I don't know if they should know who I am, but my name is James Martyr. I ran 4 years ago against Senator Mark Kirk, the biggest incumbent rhino in Congress in 2016, and I didn't quite get the job done, but man, we had a great showing. We had 388,570 voters, and thank them for their support, and you know, I stand for the Constitution, but in particular the Second Amendment, and that's why I'm here today at IGOLD 2019.
Right, so I just wanted to remind everyone, if they're sitting there looking at you or hearing your name, James Martyr, they're like, why do I know that name? Why do I know that guy? So that's why they know that guy. So is this your first IGOLD that you've attended?
Actually, it is. You know, I work for a living sometimes in the daytime, but this year I was like, I need to take a day off. I had to rearrange my schedule. Drove in from Michigan last night, but we're here today, and I wanted to be here with all of our great Second Amendment supporting groups, ISRA, Gun Saves Lives, the NRA, the IGOLD group itself, and just all of the fantastic groups that are here supporting and defending our right to keep and bear arms.
Right. So I can say I live in Will County, you live in Kendall County, but any important Republican event that there is, any important Second Amendment event like this, I always see you. You always show up. And I even remember one time you came to the Plainfield Township meeting where we were slating candidates, and they didn't want to let you in. And I vouched for you. I don't know if you remember that, but they literally pulled me to the side and said, "Who is this chucklehead?" And I said, no, I know him. He's a good guy. He's 100% Republican. So I vouch for you. But what I wanted to say is, we're so happy to have people like you here that can put that face out there, that younger face. Now your son is running for elected office, and I heard you say you don't know what you're running for right now. So you're not slated for anything right now, but that's okay. You will be, and we know you will be. But I'm so happy to see you here today. So what do you think about what's going on here in Springfield right now, and the prognosis for Illinois?
Well, I mean, what's going on in Springfield? It's a hot mess. It's probably the best. They don't understand what they're doing to the people and the citizens of Illinois. I think they're actually it's an opportunity for us, because they're going to wake up a sleeping giant. Their voters are going to come join us when they realize they're coming after your guns, they're coming after your wallets, and they're going to take everything and drive people out of the state. And, you know, that's why we're here today, to stop that. I was here last week with the pro-life rally. I was down here a couple months ago with the tax protest on the mileage tax, and now we got the gas tax they're trying to push through. So they're going to do things that hit the real pocketbooks of real people, our friends and neighborhoods, you know, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, and it's going to hurt them all. And we need to be down here to make sure that they understand they don't just represent their voters, they represent the people of the state of Illinois.
Thank you so much for joining us today, James. We're going to have a fantastic march. We're hoping, we talked about this, that room is full, and that when we get out on the street, we're going to find that we've got like about 7,000 people. So we're hoping this will match or exceed our largest previous year, which I believe was 2012. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to a great march, and you're going to go with us, and we're going to take Springfield hopefully back one of these days. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thank you. Amen to that. Well, thanks for that.
You are welcome.